we have to talk about the maryadas that are to be observed by Sahajogis. One of the things I discovered here in the West, that though we have understood the importance of Muladhara, which is a very important, and that unless and until we re-establish our Muladhara fully, we are not going to have a speedy ascent. Despite all that, still there are lingering things you see around. Like people start choosing their life partners in Sahajog. That is not allowed. That is not allowed. You are not to spoil your ashrams, your centers, using them for a marriage searching society. You must respect. This point you must respect. If you have to marry, then you can find your life partner outside Sahajoga to begin with. But if you want to marry in Sahajoga, then you should not go on searching people in Sahajog. It's a very dangerous thing for Sahajog itself and for you people. That is one thing one should never try to do with Sahajogis. For all practical purposes, you are brothers and sisters, and that's why I always encourage marriages between people who belong to another country or another centers. As we are now having a marriage big program, I would say that most of the marriages which were done like that are very successful than the marriages that were selected and were done. It's very wrong to do such a thing as to arrange your marriage with a Sahajogi by yourself. It will be dangerous, I don't want to say anything, but it won't turn out to be good because it is anti-God activity. Absolutely anti-God. You are supposed to develop your brahmacharya. You are supposed to develop your muladhara. Instead of that, if you start using a Sahajogini or a Sahajogi for the selection of your married life, it's going to be very, very troublesome. Your muladhara will not settle down. I mean, that's a very back stroke for your development. Because of the background and the kind of conditioning you have had, you people don't understand that it is important to maintain the purity of the centers and of every place. So any such relationship in one city is a very wrong thing. It spoils everyone. To add up to the trouble, it's a habit of people I have heard that they try to tease that you look better together, you are nice together. They tease and enjoy. It's a kind of a very perverted enjoyment of Muladhara. To tease others, you are looking very nice with him and you better marry. It's a kind of a romantic nonsense. Of course, for all the yogis, they have to have a brahmacharya. But even if you can't have brahmacharya, you must have maryada. Not to tease each other and enjoy that kind of a nonsense when the marriage is not settled. Marriage settled is all right. And this kills completely the joy of marriage because there is no curiosity left. And many times I find that absurd relations are established. Some of them are really no good and they will really be detrimental. And some of them never are established. So if they are established, they are wrong. And if they are not established, they are heartbreaking. So all this kind of thing you should not do. We've got experiences of people who married outside and brought wonderful people to Sahajoga. If you can do it, you should do it. But if you have to marry Sahajoga yogis, you should not marry them at the cost of destroying the purity and the idealism it has. For your own sake, for your own pleasures, you should not spoil the name of Sahajoga. That is one thing I've seen. So I would say that today, as it is the day of purity between relationship, let us know that you have to treat each other as brothers and sisters. No such play should be followed. Don't allow your mind to drift into this. Because if you allow, then there is no end to it. As it is, you know, it is how hard it is to bring you back to normalcy. When Christ has said, "Thou shalt not have adulterous," he didn't say it because it was not practical. It is quite practical for surgeons. And there is nothing to worry about marriages so much. What is so important? So many are married and what has happened to them? Even with Sahaja Yoga marriage, some of them have failed because of these bad habits. So you better get rid of these bad habits before marriage. Because after marriage also they go on like this and searching for boys and girls. Because if these habits are not curbed before marriage, then they go on lingering on. So one should not try to do all these things before marriage. And I have seen such marriages are never successful so far. And even if they are, it is a sort of a make-believe thing. It doesn't give real joy, it's a joyless pursuit. Maybe in one case, maybe successful, but that doesn't mean that you should take any help from such difficult things, but have normal marriages which are enjoyable, which have created permanent bondages between people. All the marriages. Now we have to understand the maryadas about which I have told you before also. Relationship between men and women are only pure if a certain amount of boundaries are kept. Like supposing you have milk in one container and you have got something else in another container. To keep the purity of one container, you have to keep it in its bounds, in the cup. If you allow them to mix up, if they fall together and they mix up, then there is no purity left. It's a simple thing like that. One should understand. That we have to understand that how to keep our relationships in proper respect to each other's modesty and chastity. Now, for example, there is a girl who is younger to you. You must keep all the distance from such a person. If she is much older than you, then it is all right. You can talk, laugh, joke. She is much older than you. But normally with a girl who is younger to you, even much younger, you should try to keep away. After all, if she is a young girl, not with the children, but still, you must learn these things, how to maintain a distance. Now there's a man who is younger to you. Then you must not have any funny ideas about such a person. It's absolutely absurd. If some gentleman is younger to you, it's in only perversion you do such things. See, you should not have any funny ideas about that person. It's only done when there are emergencies, when there's no possibility of a marriage, when there are so many women or so many men, or under perverted conditions. We don't have none of these conditions here. So we have to behave like normal people. And when the proper atmosphere is given to us, why not make use of it? Why should we create absurd things? Then they come out to me saying that, "Mother, now we have decided to marry, let us marry." I have to say yes. Many things I don't want to say yes, but I have to say yes. But creates a very bad precedent. Maybe that in certain cases, as an exceptional case, I might have chosen to marry somebody like that. But that doesn't mean you should take things into your hands and just start doing things like that so that I'll have problems later. Because once you do like that, then anybody starts doing, it's a kind of an aggressiveness. That you arrange something, come to me, say, "Mother, we want to marry." Now what am I to say? All right, marry. But it creates a problem for me, for the rest of the people. They'll say, all right, if he has married a girl who is 20 years younger, why not I marry a girl who is 30 years younger? You must understand my problems. If you ask me for something, "Mother, should I do it?" You really force me into it, I have to say yes. I cannot be very strict with you because I am your mother. But you should be sensible what to ask me, how far to go. This is the biggest maryada you have to learn. Suddenly you will come, "Mother, should I sit here?" What do I say? "Should I make this gentleman sit here?" What should I say? All right. You yourself should not ask such a question. Because sometimes you give undue importance to somebody who is my brother, who is my sister, something, and make that person sit on my head. Sometimes you telephone to me, mother, she would like to talk to. Who is she? Is she all right? Should we take her to mother? Is she capable of talking to mother? What is her condition? Will she trouble mother? Nobody thinks about it. So you must first establish your relationship with me of proper understanding that you should not try to trouble me. But this is something is not yet in my hands. I think because people do not understand what they are doing. So first try to see that you don't try to take advantage of me. And secondly, don't try to bring people to me who do not deserve it. There is no need to waste my time with them. I have so much things to be done, so many ideas to be formulated. I have to work so hard. You know, I am working harder than any one of you, those who are doing surgery. And at this age, if you try to trouble me like that, I don't know how to tell you that don't trouble me. In the presence of the person you'll come. You'll bring the person on my head. Oh, that person has come from Timbuktu and I have brought him. Just you do it. It's aggressiveness on me. Please don't try to do that. This is the wrong thing to do. So the maryadas are to be established first with me, that understand that you should not try to trouble me at all like this. Secondly, you must try to please me by being good people. May God bless.